And then maybe you've written a bunch of books and you sell them for $100. And 1,000 people buy those. Well, that's $100,000 there, $100,000 with the group program, and $100,000 at the top. That's a $300,000 business. We're doing 3 different things. Does this sound exciting to anybody? Let me hear it. Yes. So if you create a model where you just don't do one thing, but you have a Goldilocks model where it's different ways to get the support at ever increasing levels of investment that are absolutely worth it, and that makes the exchange of value fair between the parties, you can create a beautiful business that you work from your home with your dog at your feet and still have plenty of time to enjoy your children and your pets and your husband or your causes and things you like to do. Game changer. Are we excited? Okay. Let me tell you about a tough cookie who refused to crumble. And I want to share this example as a way to demonstrate how this model really works. Dr. Susan O'Malley runs a medical spa in Connecticut. And she felt called to write a book and to speak about how to overcome, how tough cookies don't crumble. And she wanted to do that, but she didn't know how. And she said, I don't know, who am I anyway? Am I my resume? She didn't know who she was. So she enrolled in my $97 Bye Bye Boring Bio program at that time. And she got so much value from that program that she decided to jump into a group program and get more help. And she was in that program for a while, and she loved it, and she loved working with me, but she says, oh, to heck with this. I'm sick and tired of having to share you with other people. Can I have you all to myself? I said, sure. So anyway, so she started at the bottom, and she moved all the way up. And in the 2 years that we worked together, she wrote her book, Tough Cookies Don't Crumble, Turn Setbacks into Success. She became a columnist for Entrepreneur.com. She became a frequent podcast guest on very important top-rated podcasts, including this one, Entrepreneur on Fire, which is one of the top-rated podcasts in the world today. And then very recently, she took her place at the HubSpot event. That's her on stage in front of I don't know how many people. And the story around this was really amazing. She says, I want to be on this stage. I want to give a bold talk for 10 minutes on this stage. And I said, how bad do you want it? She said, I want it bad. I said, okay, let's make an approach. And you're going to go ahead and email the decision maker. I taught her how to make a gracious but tenacious approach to the decision maker. And I said, if you don't hear from the person in a few days, you say, well, you follow up in another equally gracious and tenacious way. And so on the very last day when they were choosing speakers for the bold stage, they actually called her on the phone and said, is this Dr. Susan O'Malley? Yes, it is. Well, we're happy to tell you that out of the thousands and thousands of people that applied to give a bold talk at this stage, there's only one spot remaining, and we have saved it for you. Your tenacious, gracious approach really impressed us, and we know that with your 10 minutes on this stage that it's going to change a lot of lives. And so she got the gig, and she did the gig, and she got a standing ovation, and she got the greatest compliment of all, is she got invited back. And there were 22,000 people there this year, and she was right there in front of them. So what has happened for Dr. Susan since? She's soon to be represented by a leading speakers bureau. And how does she make all this happen? It's all these things that have happened. She asked. You know, I've been leading a group program called Get Your Sizzling Speaker Sheet Done August Challenge, and we had like 50 people start with us a month ago, and the challenge was that they had to get their sizzling speaker sheet done in 30 days. And it's been super fun to see the students step up. But anyway, I've been telling people all along, there's speaking gigs to your left and right if you would just be aware of where they are and have the courage to ask for what you want. So I've got these 50 people in my program, and I say, listen, now that you've got your sizzling speaker sheet done and dialed, it's time to start asking people for the gig. When are you going to start asking for the gig? So just the other day, one of the gals who's a nationally recognized handwriting analyst, she wrote back to me in an email. She said, I believe that if you change your handwriting, you can change your life. Change your handwriting, you can attract clients. Change your handwriting, you can find a better mate. Change your handwriting, you can make everything happen. I would love to give a talk about this to your community. And here's what qualifies me to be an excellent expert on this topic. Here's my short bio, here's my speaker sheet, and these are my 5 interview questions that I can't wait to answer to serve your tribe in a way that will blow their mind. And you know what? I was so impressed that I did an interview with her. And the people that listened to her were so impressed that they said they wanted more. So in 2 weeks, I'm interviewing this woman on my business fan page, and I'm going to send my 20,000 email subscribers to an invitation to join us. And that is going to lift her up along her climb, and I'm going to be able to say that I was the angel in the outfield that made it happen. The speaking gig was right under her nose. She was the only person of 50 that actually raised her hand. Have you ever been to one of those events where someone says, I've got $100, who wants it? And there's always one person who runs up and says, I'll have it, and they go home with $100. What do you want? And are you going to be courageous to ask for it? Yes? Yes. Okay. You're never too old and it's never too late to achieve your dream. So what is the system? She who dares and perseveres is the one who succeeds. D, decide. What do you want? And how much do you want it? Make today the day you turn the page. Today's the day you stop getting ready. Today's the day you start asking for what you want. A, ask and apply while always aiming high. How big can you think? How big of a stage could you be on? How big of a client could you serve? How much more could you charge? Could you double your prices? Could you, I don't know what it is, but how big could you think? Resist the temptation to quit. We're all going to check into Pity Party Hotel at one time or another. And you'll be sitting there with the crocodile tears and you're going to be exhausted. And then you have to get back in touch with the why. Why do you do this thing in the first place? Why does this cause matter to you? Why does this business matter to you? Is this really that important? Because if it's really that important, you've got to resist the temptation to quit, and you've got to keep going. And E, execute. Nothing happens if you do nothing. You can manifest all you like, but turn your M upside down into W and work for the result that you desire. Are you ready to work for the result that you desire? It's so rewarding when you do. So my chance meeting with Sandra on being ready set the stage for very many good things to happen for me. And because of all the wonderful things that I'm getting to do now, I'm getting to change lives like maybe some in this room right here, right now. And that makes me so happy. This handwriting analysis she's going to go downtown, and I'm going to be the one that got her there. It's your turn now. You ready to go? Hey! Tables, you have my manifesto. This is something that I did when I wanted to get clear about the business that was going to be brilliant for me, that was going to be my guiding principles to help me get where I wanted to go. I share it with you for 2 reasons. One is if you want to get to know, like, and trust me, when you read my manifesto, you'll know if I'm somebody that you like and trust and want to work with. But maybe you'll also be inspired to create your own manifesto that will guide you to do whatever it is that you want to do and keep you in touch with what's important. And I hope that this inspires you. The other thing I wanted to say is tonight I'm doing a VIP Raise Your Voice Dinner Mastermind at this very hotel between 5 and 9. And a couple of you are going to be joining me, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes? I have one more seat at the table. And it's more of me doing this kind of thing, teaching you how to raise your voice and make your impact so you can have the dream that you want to come true. Does anybody want to come? I have 1 ticket. You must be present to win. It's from 5 to 9 tonight. If you win and you can't come, you're taking the seat from someone else. So if you would like to put your name in this basket, we're going to draw a name and someone's going to get to come to dinner with me. And if you would like to be, like I do a newsletter and I'm pretty sassy about my useful tips. If you put your email address on your little piece of paper, I'll gladly keep you informed about neat things that will help you raise your voice and make your impact. If you don't want me to be in touch with you, don't offer an email. And that's as easy as that. How's that? Are we having fun yet?
Yes.
Okay, good. Are we learning something?
Yes.
Who has a question for me while we're doing the drawing? Anyone want to ask me anything? Don't be shy. No questions? You have a question.
I have a question. I'm a one-woman in-home care agency right now, and I want to take it to the next level, but I don't know how to get from here to there. Like, I want to hire caregivers, and I want to be more running the business and not doing everything, and so it's like a leap that I need to take. And so, any comments on that?
Yes. One is, even if you go slow, you can still get where you want to go. So first be clear about what the next step would look like. We don't go from 0 to hero in one big leap. We go step by step. So how much revenue do you need to be creating in order to fund the next person? Might be a good question to ask. And if you could create that revenue consistently for a certain number of months, such that having that new person on your team would be a no-brainer, then you might be thinking about the job description you want that person to fulfill, and to start dreaming about where you might find that person so that your life could be made easier. And step by step, you can get there. Any other question? Yes.
It's not a question, but I love the process you went through to get a focus group by giving information and speech and giving material and then asking for something in return. And I plan to do that.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
May I make one follow-up comment to that? Have you known anybody in your life that was sitting behind their computer for months and months and months creating modules and training materials and beautiful programs and all kinds of videos and all kinds of that stuff? But then they created all that stuff, but nobody ever bought it. Has anybody heard of anybody tell a story like that? It's so disheartening when this happens, and we've all done it at one point or another. One of the best things you can do is actually listen to what people are saying. And so, I know I'm over time, right? Oh, I have 2 minutes. I did a lot of one-on work with people, one-on-one work, and then I kind of maxed out on one-on-one work, and I thought, how could I leverage? How could I leverage? And I thought, what are people asking for? My audience, speakers and experts. What is their urgent problem? They want to take their place on more live and virtual stages, but they don't know how to market themselves. They can't market themselves. What do I have that would help them do that? Oh, I have this sizzling speaker sheet Get It Done workshop. And people can enjoy it anywhere in the world, wherever they are. But then I thought, people always want me to look at their message to make it better because they can't see their own brilliance to save their own life. So what could I offer? Well, what if I did a Facebook group for these people and I called it the Sizzling Speaker Sheet Makeover Lab, and I actually promised to look at their speaker sheets and make them better? Well, that's awesome. But then I thought, how could I make it even better? And I thought, what if I do an office hour once a week for 4 weeks so that they can actually talk to me and get help? And so I decided on the fly to bundle that all together. I didn't spend months on months creating modules. I was just listening to what people were asking for. And then I said, hey, I've heard you. You say you want this, you want that, you want the other. Well, what do you know? I'm offering that. And I've got a 5-day sale in place, and you can go and buy it. 50 people went and bought it. That was a quick $10,000. Hot dog, hallelujah. You think I'm going to want to do that again? I didn't spend months worrying about how to get it all perfect. I just heard what people were asking for and thought about how I could deliver it, and what do you know, they bought it. Is that a neat idea? Could you try to do that too? So who wants to go to dinner with me tonight? Jessica, you have to do this. Who wants to go to dinner with me tonight?
No.
Pat Draper.
Good timing.
Pat, you're available from 5 to 9 tonight?
Yes, I'll be here.
Okay, good. We're in the boardroom.
Boardroom. I know the room well.
Okay, great. I'm going to put this in my pocket so I don't lose it.
Good timing.
It has been my pleasure to be here with you today. I hope you've got some value.